Yo, it's your boy Joe.
This your boy Greg. We the co-pilots from coast to coast. We do the most. So what's your flight? Whatever it is, we got you covered.
And today, man, we have a special co-pilots podcast episode today. My boy Greg, he in checking in, and what's been up with you, Greg?
Hey man, the same thing as usual, man. Been moving, man, from state to state, man. Happy to be home for a change.
That's what's up, man. And so we ain't gonna waste you guys' time. We gonna get right into it, and we're gonna be talking about NBA Finals, man. What's your thoughts on the NBA Finals, Greg? Now, it's two teams that's in the finals that I think, for the most part, we thought. I mean, people had their doubts about OKC, and then you got the Indiana Pacers that man, it shocked a few teams. With the Celtics, and we thought the Knicks and other teams had a chance, but they end up in the finals, man. What's your thoughts, Greg?
I think it's okay. I think it's their championship to win. I think that the last couple of years we have seen like them get better each year, but you always had the veterans that was in the way. And we know that like man, this team was like just they just needed that big win like most teams and whatnot. Where we see it with a lot of superstars where they take their bumps and they bruises early, but when they able to overcome it, you know what I'm saying, a lot of the times they end up turning into a dynasty. We witnessed that with the Jordan era. You get what I'm saying? When he took his lumps against the Boston Celtics. Then it ended up being the Detroit Pistons with the bad boys. But once he was able to come over that hurdle, it formed into a dynasty. Two different three peats. We also seen that with LeBron. He took his lumps here and there. You get what I'm saying? And once he was able to overcome that, he understood what it took to be a winner. Like we had that conversation earlier on the phone. And it's no different with SGA, man. He took his bruises or whatnot, going against teams like Denver and some of these other teams that's in the West. And we know that the West is a tough conference. And I think now, man, going against going against the Pacers or whatnot, a team that we did not even expect to make it this far. I think it's their season, man. I think that it end up going. I think it has the potential to go 6 games, but I think the Thunder can finish it out in 5.
Yeah, I'm with you, man, on this one. I think the Thunder will win this series easily, 5 games. And what we talked about earlier on the phone earlier, man, it was like I think that this Thunder's team is going to be the team to beat in the Western Conference. When you just look at how this team is built, they got a lot of young pieces, man, and it's going to be scary in the West, man, because you got a team like the Thunder who, they've drafted very well, and Sam Presti, excellent GM, man, been able to accumulate a lot of draft picks, and he's been able to do well on these picks and get the right trades. And he has a contender team that's gonna be here for years, man. I mean, I can't say they're gonna win it all again in the West because, like I said, the West is loaded. But this team is gonna be a competing team in the Western Conference. They're not going nowhere for a while. We're gonna be talking about the OKC team. Uh, I mean, you just look at two
Well,
like. Go ahead.
I think the only thing that, like I say, man, with the only thing that was stopping the Thunder the last past couple of years was them. You get what I'm saying? I think that they were just one of those teams. Like once you see them win, and they understand the formula it takes to win a championship. Like this team has the pieces, man, to be a dynasty. Like a team we mentioned earlier, we was talking Golden State. You get what I'm saying? And it
Right.
took for Golden State to win, even though you look at some of the things that happened that allowed them to win. But I think that first win against Cleveland gave Golden State their confidence. You get what I'm saying? I
Right.
truly believe that if Cleveland would have beat them that first championship, that um they wouldn't have been the same Golden State team that we seen going forward. You get what I'm saying? I
Right.
could be wrong, but I think that when a team win and that confidence builder, I think that what does it for a lot of teams and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So you have to, and basically what I'm saying is you have to be able to capitalize in the moment. You know, we seen with the Denver Nuggets, this was a team that we could have. said that easily could have had their own dynasty. You get what I'm saying? And they ran short of that last year. You know, and they pretty much beat when they played against Miami Heat in the championship. They beat them by a landslide. It wasn't even close. And then going back, to try to repeat that same magic, man, you get what I'm saying? It's like, you get what I'm saying? When you fall,
I
when
get what
you
you're
when you
saying.
fall short, you can't much put yourself, you know what I'm saying? You stagnate yourself. And I think that with this team, man, like I say, man, the key is winning, capitalizing in the moment. You capitalize, I think it's set up for them to win. And not saying a conspiracy setup, but how everything fit. They're a better team than Indiana. You know what I'm saying? Not to take nothing from them because um Indiana is a good team, but to me, they played above expectations. You get what I'm saying? Will this be the same Indiana team from next season? We don't know. You know what I'm saying? But
Now that's one thing I will
like I
disagree
said,
with you on with this Indiana team, man. I think they are a legit team. You got to look at the two. They went to the Inch Conference Finals last year, and they crop up on a couple teams. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at like we got to start looking at Indiana as okay. They may be a team that can compete with the Celtics. Now it's gonna be we're gonna have to see now. Jason Tatum gonna be down. I know he probably not gonna be back for the start of the season. So is the Pacers gonna be that team to be like, hey, we the team to go through the East now? And I don't know. I say I gotta get them. I feel like now it's two teams in the Eastern Conference that's legit: the Pacers and the Celtics now, and everybody
now
else still fighting.
to go with your argument, right? I'm looking at Indiana the same way I looked at Golden State when they went to the finals the first time. You get what I'm saying?
Okay, okay,
Like
okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
now, but so I say that to say this, like, um, I'm looking at this team like I don't see much. It's like you to get where you got you to get where you came at, you did good. But do I see them repeating the same? Do I see them repeating going back? I can't say I see that. You get what I'm saying? Not saying that it's far fetched, but it is better teams in the Eastern Conference than Indiana. You know what I'm saying? And I
Right.
think that they just having a great season. You get what I'm saying? And they are also capitalizing off their moment. But I think that, man, when you match these two teams, that it's clearly like OKC is the better team. You get what I'm saying? You look at down the board. They led at almost every defense statistical category this season. You get what I'm saying? And you got the MVP on your team. And like you say, man, you just look at the matchup, man. I just got OKC winning this. You get what I'm saying in 5.
Bad. Yeah, Miami cracked my knuckles in the damn mic. That's my bad. But I think one thing we got to look at too with this Pacers team, man, they coached by NBA champion Rick Carlisle. No, he coached that Dallas team that beat LeBron. So we got to give him some credit for that. So I think this guy going to have a chip on his shoulder. He's going to give, like I say, I think we all know OKC is probably the more talented team and the younger, better team, but Rick Carlisle is an experienced coach, and I think if we just gonna give it one advantage to them, let's give coaching to the Pacers. Man, they're coached very well by Rick Carlisle.
Right, right.
So,
And also, man,
uh,
like I say, man, I like but even if they don't even if they fall short, it's nothing to hang their head over. You get what I'm saying? We know that they're not far away. You get what I'm saying? I think, like, when you look at point guard far as a facilitator, they probably got the best facilitator, you know what I'm saying, point guard. You get what I'm saying, in the league.
right,
And I think that what was the separation when you look at some of these other teams, like when you look at the New York Knicks series or whatnot. Being able to
right,
have that ball in your have that point guard to have that ball in his hand, having a true facilitator to have the ball in his hand. You know what I'm saying? Um, Minnesota didn't have that. You get what I'm saying? Um, Boston was able to have it with Drew Holiday, but New York, they didn't have it. The Knicks didn't have it. If you look at the history of the game, right, it's only like you can say three different times where you had a point guard to lead a team to the finals and win when their point guard was their best player on their team. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And then when you look at all three of these teams, it's only one of those dudes that was actually a true point guard. Do you know who these three teams is? Well, I'm finna name. Um, you had Isaiah Thomas with the Detroit Pistons.
Okay.
You had Johnson with the LA Lakers, and you had
Steph
Steph
Curry,
Curry
right?
with Golden State.
Okay.
Right. But it's only one of those guys that was actually a true point guard, and that was Magic Johnson. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that was that like early in this season, that was like one of my things with when I was talking about Tyrese Halliburton. Like remember I gave him the Drew Holiday comparison?
Right.
And and me personally, I just think Drew Holiday is a good, but it's not saying that me saying it, it's not saying Halliburton is a bad player. You know what I'm saying? Because we know Drew Holiday can play. But I'm looking at his game like he's a great facilitator. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And a lot of times it's not a key to success when you look at the game or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that it can't happen, but him being able to have another bona fide score over there will actually help that team out. You get what I'm saying? Because he is a true point guard.
Right. I think also too, man. When you look at Tyrese Halliburton game, man, uh, he got that dog in him, dog. Like I know you know what I'm saying. Like we try to think he's a soft guy because he light skinned, but he got dog in him, man. And like I like what he did in New York game one. He threw up the Reggie Miller choke song after they had that big lead. And I want to talk about that
Right.
series a little bit too because we talked about this earlier. I think, man, the Knicks, man, they gotta kick themselves, man, knowing that like they win that game. I think this series is totally different. You win game one. So
Right.
let's
Definitely, it
segue into
definitely could have went that way.
say what now?
Nah, I was just piggybacking on what you just said. Yeah, it definitely could have went a different way. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. So I think we beat up the NBA finals. Any final thoughts on that, Greg?
I would say like like when we talk about the new league, man, when you talking about like because because we know it's like it's going to be the end of the old era and a new era is approaching and whatnot. I think in the new NBA, man, it's not just going to be just one face of the league, man. It's going to be multiple faces, man. And I think that when you look at these players like Halliburton, SGA, Ant Man, and a few more, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna have just multiple faces of league representation. You know what I'm saying? And I think the last couple of years kind of ushered that in. You get what I'm saying? Even though
Mm-hmm.
you had LeBron James as the front runner, but you had players like Steph Curry that easily could have been the face of the league. Um, Durant, you get what I'm saying? Like these guys actually had their fan base. You get what I'm saying? Had a big fan base throughout the NBA fans and whatnot. Because you think back when you look at the Jordan era, right? You could say probably 85% of the people liked it was Jordan fans, maybe more. And I'm just throwing out a modest number by saying 85. But when you look fast forward, when you start looking at um today's game or whatnot, everybody wasn't LeBron. You didn't have 85% of the people that was screaming LeBron. You had people that were screaming Steph Curry. You had people that were screaming Durant. You get what I'm saying? You had people
Right.
that were screaming some of these other players as well. So I think that what we just witnessed is ushering it into the new era, whatnot. When you're going to see multiple faces of the league and not just one guy carrying the banner.
I also agree with that too as well, man. And I'm not sure if you heard Perk remarks about uh the face of the league need to be a married man and a family man and all that crap.
Nah, I ain't hear that though.
Yeah, I didn't know if you
Nah,
went to chat on that, but I mean, like you said,
I don't,
and it's
I
just
don't,
kind of piggyback off of that.
I really don't research. me myself, I really don't research in people's personal life. Like I don't know if they don't say it on ESPN, I wouldn't even know it. You get what I'm saying? It's
Yeah, he
just when
said that
they
on ESPN.
constantly, huh?
He said it on ESPN. He's saying that he felt
That's
like
what I'm
the
saying.
NBA. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. If they don't constantly say it on ESPN or it ain't, like in like the social media feeds or whatnot, I pretty much went. I'm not really searching for nobody personal life like that. They sometimes
yeah.
people can say
I,
some of the
I
crazy
I think
stuff or what.
it has a lot to what. But the only reason why I bring that up though, Greg, is because it basically talking about what you're talking about. Like when you look over the face of the league over like so many years, the market, like when you look at a Michael Jordan, he was put on as a family man, winner. All that stuff was there. Father, his dad, family. So I think it has a little credence to it. When you look at LeBron, same thing. Got married young, same girl, been with her since he was in high school. They've always painted that narrative. Now, again, back in the '80s when it was Jordan, Jordan Bird era, then it was two. And we know what it was, black and white. You get what I'm saying? So now ushering into this new NBA era, I can see where you can have a guy like an Ant-Man. Maybe he's not married. Maybe he out there, but he's a killer on the court. Now he gonna have to win some starting now for him to get that. But SGA, another guy, he's a guy that a Canadian guy can he be the face of the league? International guy, Luca. These guys are all out there. But I think it's just like what you said, more. It can be multifacets, and which mean that you don't have to be a family man, or you don't have to be, a certain of what we've known to market the league in years past. There could be other ways. So yeah, man. So that's why I brought that up. That yeah, you're absolutely right. That yeah, it's gonna be multiple faces of the league because you can't continue to market the league in the same light because guys in the new NBA they're not really feeling that face of the league thing because they know it comes with a lot of criticism.
Nah. Now, like to Kendrick's point, you would want like okay, the dude that is the face of the league, you would pretty much want him to be like somebody that has some type of values, some type of morals or whatnot, because this is what kids look up to. So you would want these kids' childhood hero to be somebody that have some type of morals or whatnot. But at the same time, like the league pretty much don't dictate who the face of the league is. It's the fans, and the
Right,
fans pretty much tell you what they want. It's just like it's like when we watch wrestling, um the fans pretty much tell you who they want the next champ to be, who they want to be the face of the you know what I'm saying, of
right.
WWE or WCW, whatever you want to call it or whatnot. They pretty much guide you. They pretty much set the pace and everything like that there. Um, in like football and basketball, players have to play up to that level or whatnot. But at the same time, the fans pretty much tell you who they like. Who this is the guy we cheer for. This is who we are big on right now. You get what I'm saying? So like, and that's how you have the guys like Steph Curry, Durant. That was also able to have they face very prevalent. You know what I'm saying, during the LeBron era.
I agree, man. You know what I'm saying? So with that, man, we're gonna segue into we're gonna talk about the AFC South and the Jazz talk. What we've been seeing, OTAs, things like that. I know I put a video out early last week. Travis Etienne it was rumored that he might be on a trade block. But other than that, OTAs is OTAs to me, man. I really don't get too hype about them no more because until they start hitting, man, that's when it really matters. It's just good to see the season back started. That's the only bright spot. But yeah, man. I think the AFC South is going to be a very interesting division this year, man. You got a lot of different analysts that's saying that the Titans could be in a playoff team. I mean, I don't know how that is, but you got guys heard that are calling that with Cam Ward. I ain't looked in OTAs. Obviously Jacksonville. I'm rooting for the home team, and then the Texans. Can they repeat? Be 3-time AFC South champs. I don't think we had that in a long time since like maybe the Peyton Manning era, 3 years in a row. But what's your thoughts, Greg?
Um, I think, man, just like looking at everything as of right now, I would say the Texans is the best team out there right now, like in the in the South. Um, and the reason why I say you pretty much got a established quarterback right now. You get what I'm saying? Like at we already know, man, Stroud can play. CJ Stroud can play. You know what I'm saying? Trevor, we pretty much trying to figure out what's going on. Like, we know he has shown potential, but we want him to be consistent. You get what I'm saying? That's
I
one
feel
of the
you.
things we looking at, we hoping for this season. So it's like, if we get Trevor from year two, yeah, I think that, man, we'll be just as competitive with Houston as any other team. I mean, we was last year, and that was in the down season. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Right,
two of those games we could have easily won. Both those games we could have won. You get what I'm saying? We was in position to win, but we couldn't pull it off. But I think, like I always say, man, the biggest thing, man, to be evaluated with this team is, man, is Trevor going to make that step forward with this new coaching, with the new coaching change and whatnot. You get what I'm saying?
right.
And he's not going to be required to do much in the system. Like, this is going to be like pretty much like a run first team. That's why we develop it with the interior of the O line. You know what I'm saying? And we have to face it, man. Is Trevor going to be that generation of talent that we hoping him to be, man? And for a coach to make a change to say that we're going to rely mostly on the run game, is pretty much telling us that we may have a game manager, and that's okay. If we have a game manager, if he can manage the game properly, that's okay. You know what I'm saying?
But
But
I think what you have to do is, and I think what the way Liam Cohen is looking into this, going into this offense is, hey man, this is how I'm looking at it. I'm gonna make you a game manager till you prove me otherwise. You feel what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna restrict you as much as I can till you learn till I can build. I gotta build your confidence back. I gotta get you back to feeling like you can be that generation talent. Think about it though, bro. Remember Baker Mayfield first year in that offense, and then you see him take the next step, even though they didn't make a deep push in the playoffs, but you seen that offense get better. You know what I'm saying? The
right,
first year was about middle of the whole offense. Then the second year, I want to say it was a top 10, maybe top five offense last year in total yards. I want to say, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's
right.
one of those situations where it's just as a coach, you're not going to give him free rim. He got to earn that. You know what I'm saying? We gonna tell you where to put the ball at, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I think I'm looking at it. But you absolutely right, Trevor Lawrence. I mean, if he don't get it done this year, we out. We know what the NFL stands for. So that money, we'll figure out the money situation. But you a part of it. But a team though,
I
bro,
think
I
we'll
ain't gonna
have
even
that
lie.
given just because of
Yo, I don't know, man. I mean, if I was the
what
head
team you
coach.
saying.
No, but a team that we got to watch out for in this division, and no one been talking about, is the Indianapolis Colts, man. They did some crazy things this offseason. They brought Daniel Jones in to compete with Anthony Richardson on that roster. They did some solid things draft wise. Chris Ballard, he's always a pretty solid GM. They do some good things draft wise. So, I mean, like nobody ain't really been talking about the Colts. I mean, the coach scene could sneak up on us, man. And I know last year they had issues at quarterback too. But man, we can't sleep on the Colts. I know the last 2 years we kind of got over that hump with the Colts. We kind of like, oh, we good with the Colts. But hey, let's not forget about them either now.
Man, I'm sleeping on the Colts. I'm not impressed with Daniel Jones. He haven't shown me nothing. Anthony Richardson showed potential, like maybe a game or two. Outside of that, I haven't seen nothing. Maybe he get better. Who knows? Um, so looking at what they got at quarterback now, I will say this now to concede what you just said. they do have talent on their team. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Receivers. I think Alex Pierce don't get talked about enough. I think he's probably one of the most underrated receivers in the league. Playmaker in the clutch. You get what I'm saying? Like a clutch
Right.
player that can step up and make plays. Alex Pierce, your guy. You also got Pittman that's over there. You get
Michael
what I'm
Pittman.
saying?
Yeah.
And Adonai if I'm saying his name right, the running back from Texas
Right.
that they drafted last year. I don't know why I can't think his last name. And you
Boris
also
Butler.
so Jonathan Taylor. So
Yeah.
I think, man, the biggest thing with this team is like, man, is they gonna finally get a quarterback? Is a quarterback gonna step up, to make something happen? Because they got
You
talent
know,
out there, but
they got
you gotta
talent,
have a
man.
quarterback. It's pretty
Yeah,
much
man. But the thing that scares me on it, man, is let's see what Anthony Richardson do, man. I think looking into social media posts and just reading up on him, he said he got a chip on his shoulder this year, man. So I really want to see the young brother from Gainesville succeed, but not just the Jacksonville Jaguars. But I mean, I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's just see what happens, man. Because let's say the coach, man, no one's talking about them, and those be the teams that creep up playing. They fuck around, have a little nice season. But I do think the Jacksonville Jaguars, man, I think we probably are the second best team in this division, in my opinion.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
mean,
yeah. I would say the same. Because you don't know what to expect out of Tennessee. You know what I'm saying?
so
But I
so let's
think
talk
Tennessee is.
about. I know you had a disagreement with me on this schedule right here, man. What we talk about right here. So I was break down some of these games again, man. And I know you said you didn't like that I had them losing in the London game. So I had them going 10-7, man. What's your record, and explain why you think what their record gonna be?
Um, I would 10-7. I would love to say we'll win 10 games this year, but what the last 2 seasons has shown me that 9 wins, man, we'll have to appreciate that again or whatnot. But I I I would say, man, with the talent on the team, we should be able to win 10 games. We should be able to win 11 games with the talent that we got. But like I say, man, what scares me the most, man, is what Trevor gonna be able to do. You know what I'm saying? Um, People may thinking I'm ridiculing, ridiculing him or whatnot. But man, just breaking this stuff down, man. And I had this debate, right? I had this debate with somebody, but I had to break it down to him. Um, Matt Jones understood the offense better than Trevor did last year. You know what I'm saying? He operated the offense better than Trevor Lawrence did last season. You know what I'm saying? People may think like, oh, how is that so or whatnot, just because they're looking from a talent level. Now, Trevor Lawrence is the better talent, hands down. It's not even close. Trevor Lawrence is the better talent than Matt Jones. But in that offense last year, the offense looked it way better with Matt Jones than it did with Trevor Lawrence. You know what I'm saying? If you look at down the stretch when Matt Jones had the starting job, the offensive line that we criticized last season, it looked better up under Matt Jones. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of times Matt Jones didn't even get touched. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that he did, not saying that the line was an all-pro line, but the thing I always point out is this: like Matt Jones understood the assignment better. He understood he understood what his blocking protection. He understood what receivers was going to be at. Now he just didn't have the talent that Trevor Lawrence has, but he understood the offense and he operated better than Trevor Lawrence last season. And for me, I think that's a big problem because if the backup was prepared that came in only one season, that means he should have been well prepared as well.
Well, I'll say this too, man. I can't really talk most of the season in the end of the season. I'm gonna chalk that up to just way, man. the season was already over at that point for me, so I wasn't really, you know. But I will say the team did look better later on in the later part of the season. But I don't know, man. I think that even if we would have had, if Trevor Lawrence knew the offense last year, I don't think this team, just the way they played last year, man. It was, I mean, on the defensive side, just alone, I don't think any of those outcomes would have been different because the defense gave up so much last year, man. I think it would have been hard for any quarterback. Now, don't get me wrong, Trevor got to play better, but I think it would have been hard for a lot of quarterbacks to come and try to play behind our defense, bro, because they was atrocious
I,
bad, bro. We gave
I would say this: if if the defense, if the game is managed better, the defense look better. You know what I'm saying? Because and the reason why I say that, right? You look at the years when you had Peyton Manning out there, right? When Peyton Manning played for the Colts, a lot of times he had, and you would have thought that his defense would have been a good defense because they had Tony Dungy as their head coach. But they gave up a lot. They gave up a lot of yards. You get what I'm saying? But the year
right,
they won the Super Bowl, they was able to accumulate a lot of turnovers. Um, Peyton Manning understood that we have to stay on this field as long as we can, and he controlled the clock. He was a clock wizard. You know what I'm saying? He controlled the whole game. And you give him an opportunity to have that ball in his hand late in the game, he's gonna make sure that he once he score, it's only 5 seconds left for you to score on. You know what I'm saying?
right,
And crazy as this may sound, it has been games where Peyton Manning only left 20 seconds left on the clock, and you see a player like Braylon Edwards run a kickoff down to the 5 yard line, and they kick a field goal, and the coach lose. You get what I'm saying?
right.
But yeah. But the point I was making is this: I believe if Trevor Lawrence play better, the outcome of our season is looking a whole lot better. You get what I'm saying? Because like I say, you leaving your defense off the field. Your defense doesn't has to be on the field as much. You know what I'm saying? And they was on the field a whole lot. You can win a lot of games with a good offense and a bomb defense. You know, it's just the difference when it become playoff time, defense win championships. But you can win a whole lot of regular season games with a good offense and a bomb defense.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that analysis. But I do think that I feel like that there is a lot of I think as a team overall last year, like I said, I'm not saying Trevor don't deserve no credit. Absolutely, he deserves credit. But I just think that a little bit more credit, like as a team effort, you got to put the defense just as guilty as Trevor Lawrence. Now, if I had to give Trevor
Defense
Lawrence a
looked
percentage, I
hard.
give him his percentage. I give him a big, but that defense just was bad, bro. I mean, and we almost lost the game last year. That Colts game, we almost lost. After Trevor scored the touchdown, they almost gave up a touchdown. You know what I'm saying, dog? But what we playing Flacco that game when we almost gave up against Colts at home.
Was we?
I don't know.
Because
I don't even know, man. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is the defense is just real bad, bro. So, and I get it. The offense can be managed better, but defensively, man, it was bad to watch, man. And me being a defensive guy, bro, man. I mean, hopefully, like I say, anybody on the defense this year, we got to get it better, bro.
hard.
That defense got to get better, bro.
The defense was hard.
I
Yeah,
mean,
Ryan Nielsen, man, he how your boy say pack him up. Pack him
pack
up.
him up. Yeah,
Yeah,
Will.
he did,
Yeah,
man. I'm talking about Ryan Nielsen did a horrible job last year, man. And that's why I was kind of like mad with some of the criticism that players like Cisco got last year, Lord or whatnot, because we seen them the last 2 years or whatnot, what they was able to do on the field. We seen them the last couple of years. But in that offense, everybody looked bad. Only, you know what I'm saying? It's only three people that actually that look like they showed up last year. That was Trayvon Walker, What's your boy name? Um,
Jaron Jones,
damn, I can't think of. Oh, nah, the other defensive end,
uh,
the other de-
Josh Allen,
Josh Hines Allen, and the middle linebacker,
not Devin Lloyd. You talking about Lurcon?
Lurkin. Those are the only three. Well, you can say Jordan Jones because he showed, for a rookie. I mean, he had his moments, but for a rookie, he showed potential, whatnot. But those three guys still played to their level of expectations or whatnot, versus like everybody. But like Ryan, I don't know what kind of scheme that was, but he made those dudes look bad, man. Like for real, and
Yeah, it
he
was
caused a lot of players to get fired.
yeah, man. He was. I don't know, man. I thought the defense was gonna be looking better because we seen what the Falcons defense. You know what I'm saying? And he just came to Jacksonville, and I don't know, man. Like I don't think we had the personnel wise, to run that type of defense. And Ryan Nielsen just pretty much killed his own NFL career in a sense because I mean it was bad. And
And the
like you said,
crazy,
Andre Cisco. Go
he
ahead.
came in there talking about, and I'm not gonna even say he don't have the players because he came in there saying that we gonna be aggressive and all this stuff here, but he rarely blitz. You get what I'm saying? You only rushing with the front four. You're
Right,
not saying no blitz packages, but you're saying we're going to be aggressive on defense. You know what I'm saying? What aggressive defense don't blitz? You know what I'm saying?
right,
This is stuff you do when you're an aggressive team. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to get at the
right.
quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like you playing
Well,
conservative, like come on, like so he wanted the press conference all day, but when it came to on the field, he ain't look good.
it did. Really didn't look good, bro. Um, so I do think that this year is gonna be a lot different though. The defensive scheme, and the guys that they brought over, on the defensive side, like there, Jordan Lewis. I think that was a good pickup. I think the secondary this year may be our strong point of this team, as far as on the defensive side. Now, if we can get a package where they can have Armstead in the middle, Josh Hines Island on one end, and Trayvon Walker all on the field at the same time, and they got freaking Armstead holding it, playing where he usually plays in his natural position, like in the middle of the field. Man, this defense can actually be pretty good, but I don't think I've seen it that many times in Jacksonville last year, man. Sometimes they had Armstead playing in and shit.
Yeah, he going back to D type. I think up front gonna be the strength of this team. I can't really say the secondary right now, because you got players like, I mean, I like Jordan Lewis or whatnot, but Jordan Lewis is not a difference maker. He's a decent player, he's a solid player, but he's not a difference maker. Um, Tyson Campbell, he stays injured a lot. He still haven't developed what what I'm saying, him tracking the ball down, and that's a huge problem, especially when you're a guy that don't get burnt this much and you always right there with the ball. You get what I'm saying? So players are able to catch in coverage on you because you cannot track the ball. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, he's still a good cornerback, but he's been hampered with injuries the last 2 years, the last 2 seasons. So I pretty much like the up front to be like the strength of this defense, you know what I'm saying, with players like Josh Hines Allen and Trayvon Walker. And you have to see where you got to see what we do at the D tackle position as well though. But I like us better up front than in our secondary.
I like I said, I like Jaron Jones. They put him at two. Tyson Campbell. We got a guy like Travis Hunter coming in playing situational on the defensive side of the ball. Jordan Lewis. I think that can solidify on our team on third down when teams like put out multiple wideouts. We can play a lot of man, which will free up, and these guys can be free to rush. You know what I'm saying? They can cover these guys in one-on-one situations. And I'm looking at it like that. And so, but I do agree with you as well that the D line has a can be one of those teams. But I'm not going. I mean, with the I'm just looking at some of the other teams in the NFC and just in the AFC. I'm sorry, just the NFL in general. And I look at a team like the Giants when they got like Thibodeau. And they just went and drafted that boy from Michigan. You know, they got him on the front line. Not to mention the guy Marcus Lawrence on their line. So that team gonna have a nasty front. Um, there's a lot of other teams out there that I just look at got better defensive lines. Now, don't get it. I think we can be one of those teams, but I think for me, man, Josh Hines, Allen, dog, you got to step up, bro. Like last year, you played okay, but with the money that you was getting paid, bro, I thought that you could have had a better season. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. You might be demanding double teams, and not. I know, like with the DN, not every the sacks, and they might get pressures, and I know all that. But I mean, you just had a double digit season last year, man. Not the year before. I don't know if he had. Did he have double
Yeah,
digit sacks
double
last
digit season this year.
year? He had 10 sacks.
Yeah, him and Trayvon Walker had double digits, if I'm not mistaken.
Let me see. Let me see. He only had 8 sacks last year.
8. Okay.
That's 8. Yup. He only had 8. Josh Hines Allen. Yup. So, I mean, it like, and if you look at, I'm just looking at his production, dog. Like this, what he do, dog. Like, okay, in 2019, he had 10.5 sacks. 2020, he had 2 sacks, 2.5. 21, he had 7.5. 2022, he had 7 sacks. Uh, and then the year before, he had 17.5. That was a big jump. Then he went back to 8. You see what I'm saying, bro? Like, I mean, I don't know, man. It's just
This
that's
is
a
one of the things I always say about Josh Hines Allen, right? And I've been saying this for the past couple of years. He is a better football player than a pass rusher. You know what I'm saying? So I don't just look at his numbers as far as with sacks. I look at his tackles for losses and forced fumbles, things of that nature. What he's able to do on the field outside of getting sacks. So that's the reason why I say that I'm satisfied with his play now. I think that, like I say, man, last year was a result of just being in a bad system last year. Like everything just went wrong with this team last season, man, that you can think of. So I don't look at Josh Allen as if like he was part of the problem with this team. Now he's on the defense, so yeah, you have to bear some responsibility. You know what I'm saying? But I look at 8 sacks is pretty decent. 8 sacks is pretty decent.
I ain't saying 8 sacks ain't pretty deep. I think 8 sacks is solid when you getting paid double digit sack money, bro. The guys that get paid double digit sack money, bro. The guy from Cleveland, Garrett, the Bosses of the world. What's that boy from TJ Watt? And then when you getting paid like them boys, you gotta perform like them boys. You feel? That's just my opinion. And like you gotta be a game changing DN, bro. You're not that game changer. Now, granted, you're a great player, like you said, a football player, yeah. Situationally, yeah. But like it be them times out on that 3rd and 2 or that 3rd and 4, dog. We need to stop, dog. We need our best player to make a play, bro. He don't do that consistently enough for me, man.
But Josh Allen is also one of those guys that can play in coverage as well. You get what I'm saying? And it's like how Trayvon Walker is as well. So it's like I take all of that into account when I look at like, okay, they might not have done this, but they was able to do this now. When you look at like players like TJ Watts, you're not going to find too many players on their level. You get what I'm saying? Now, granted, he may be getting paid in the same ball field as those guys, but Miles Garrett, TJ Watts, Michael Parsons, like Nick Bosa, those like the top guys. And I don't even think Nick Bosa had a double digit sack year. You get what I'm saying? I'm not for sure. You can't quote him, but I don't think he did though. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's we already know that he's not on their level. But at the same time, when you talking about being a all around defensive player, yes, you can put him on their level because what he's also able to do, like far as playing in coverage, playing against the run, things of that nature.
It's better. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you saying now?
Huh?
You were saying
Oh, you
about
didn't
Josh
hear me?
Allen. I ain't hear none of it. It broke up, bro. It was sound curly, bro. My bad.
Okay. No, what I was saying was this. I say, like, although he's getting paid the same amount of money as them, it's not a lot of players like TJ Watts, Miles Garrett, those players like that. Like those dudes are considered generational talents. Um, we already had to understand that he's not on their level as far as being a pass rusher. But at the same time, you talking about being a defensive player, yes, you can put him on their level because he's not just able to get out the quarterback. He also, tackle for losses and also can play in coverage as well.
I agree with those great. I just think that at the end of the day, man, it's a performance based league, man, and like maybe they gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, but like I say, you gotta understand too. You got a new regime of guys coming in, so how you was performing with the old regime, they may expect better. You get what I'm saying? So you just can't be comfortable with that play. Like, okay, well, okay, the last regime, you know what I'm saying? When you start getting new GM, head coach, things like that, everybody's job ain't safe. So I think he made it this year to the roster, but I think he's gonna have to show like, okay, can he be the key piece on this defensive line? Yeah, you got paid like it, but everybody's job is up for evaluation this year, man. I hate to say it. You know what I'm saying? When you got a new head coach, yeah, you got it because obviously you have to field the team this year. But after they get that first year evaluating your ass, they're gonna start making moves. And I think Josh Allen, one of those guys that you paid that money to, that he gonna have to step up in this. You got any final send offs about the Jags?
Nah.
Hello.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Hey, do you want to talk college football, or you got something else
Yours paused again. Hello.
on the call? Okay, cool. So let's there we go. It's taking a little bit. My computer's running slow. So I want to know your thoughts, Greg. Like, my thing is this: you can't please everybody, and I feel like that's what we have right here. Like the sides can't agree. We got straight seeding, 1 through 4, whatever. The conference champions, the first top 5 seeds. It's so much in discussion right now, Greg. So take off.
I would say this: everything the SEC and what I'm saying, everybody else accused Florida State of. This is what they're doing right now. You get what I'm saying? Like
Facts.
the
Facts.
year we was up after having an undefeated season, we was accused of being crybabies, things of that nature. Now you see SEC teams with 2, 3 losses that get left out and they feel like they entitled. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole lot of sense of entitlement going on just because you play in a big brand, I mean, the object is to win. You either win or you don't. Like the rules
Right.
was set. The rules was already set, and so now when things don't go your way, it's like now you want to change the rules and things of that nature, like how they was doing the seeding or whatnot. You know, I liked it with the conferences went getting the first round by. You know what I'm saying? You win your conference. And so now they feel like it's going out off for like, wins or what. However they doing it now. They changing up a lot of stuff to please the bigger colleges and everything like that so they can get a home game or whatever the case may be. So, it's a lot of bias going on in that. You get what I'm saying? And like I pointed out last year, everybody was criticizing these smaller schools when they was getting blowed out in the first round. But what happened you know, um, when you had teams like Oregon get blowed out or Tennessee? You didn't, you know what I'm saying? That pretty much died down. You didn't hear that these teams didn't deserve to go in. You know what I'm saying? And these teams got blowed out just as well as some of these smaller schools or whatnot.
Right.
So it's like I say, man, it's a lot of favoritism. A lot of teams feel like they're entitled just because you play in a certain conference, and that shouldn't be the case.
Absolutely, man. And I think you hit it dead on, Greg. A lot of this shit is SEC bias and Big Ten bias, bro. When you look at the articles that I'm reading, it's all about you hear these people from the SEC. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of these SEC teams, like Lane Kiffin, I want to say he was one of the articles that I read. He was kind of against some of the stuff, but still, you got a predominantly a lot of these SEC and Big Ten teams that are trying to, and it all is about greed and money as well. They want to take a pot, and I think the NCAA, man. Like you said, bro, it ain't fun until it start happening to the SEC, and now
Right.
it's like, oh yeah, we want to change all these rules and to make it where these teams get in now, and it's just like I just think that it's kind of unfair to the smaller schools, like you said, bro, because in the long run they're gonna get the short end of the stick because they can't match up with the SEC team. They don't have, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of messed up doing the way, but again, bro, these SEC and these Big Ten schools are the reason why a lot of these changes are happening right now.
Right. And then it's like, they talking about SEC playoffs or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Like really, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. It's crazy.
Man. And so, and I know we talking football, man, and I haven't really been. I've been watching here in Florida State a little bit, but I don't know the traction due. They didn't have a spring game this year, so I really don't really know what's tapped in. I did talk to my brother about it when we was up there in North Carolina, and I tell you, he's very not impressed with Florida State, and he think that Mike Norvell, this team may be just as bad as it was last year. From
Wow.
his thoughts of it, he's like they still he say they still ain't really got no quarterback yet. And
Yeah.
I was like, damn, for real? He like, yeah, man, they really ain't found no quarterback. You hear they ain't really been quiet in Tallahassee because they all know that it's not. They don't know what to expect this season. Like, if we're gonna have a good season, what? Yeah. So I was like, I didn't know if you had been tapped in because I'm about to probably start back tapping in now on this Florida State. I didn't know if you had been tapped in, and if you heard anything, what was your thoughts on Florida State?
No, man, on 10-10, they haven't really been talking a lot about Florida State or whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I don't know, man.
Yeah,
That's
they
just that.
really
I
ain't
don't
been
know, man.
talking.
So we'll see. They got to open a big game opening this year. I think they open up against Alabama. I believe Alabama or Georgia. They open up with one SEC team. I want to say it's either Georgia or
Alabama.
Alabama we open up with. So we open up
Alabama.
with Alabama. The last time we opened with Alabama was in 2000, what? I think like 16 or something like that. DeAndre Francois got hurt. We lost 27-7 that game. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of was like the down. That was after that game. That probably was the downside of Florida State. But to be honest with you, because we started on a losing streak after that season right there. So I'm looking at it like now, man, is we'll have to see this game when they open up with Florida State this year. I mean Alabama, if this team can actually, compete. I'm just going. I'm hoping for we can just win, get to the bowl, bro. Bowl eligible for me. I'm there right now with that. So if we can get to that, I'm cool. I'm content. It shows a sign of okay, we going in the right direction.
Right.
Any other final thoughts, man, on college, bro? All right, you been following WNBA, man?
Um, Not really, not lately. You know what I'm saying? They just cranking up. So
Okay, we're gonna talk about that then, man. You got anything for the arrivals and departures then?
I didn't even come up with nothing for rivals and parties. I ain't even know whether I was
All
gonna
right,
be
yeah,
doing the show today. But
I know, man. So shoot, man, I ain't gonna we talk. I just gonna freestyle this thing this week. Arrivals and not arrivals and departures, but I guess my send off. I want to give a shout out to the EWC Tigers, that baseball team, man. You know, it's been the first time me and you both been able to come on, so I want to show them love with you on here because we know Jordan. He played for them. They had a great season this year. They fell short, I think, in the quarterfinals. I believe it was quarter or semis. One of that in the CIAC playoffs. So, salute to them and Coach Johnson out there, man. They had a remarkable season, man. They fell short, but salute to the EWC Tigers, man. That's my send off for the week.
I do got to ride with the portion now that I think about it. My arrival is going to be I it's kind of like I love it but hate it at the same time. Saquon Barkley making the Madden cover. Um, Congratulations to Saquon, but I think they should have went with a different cover
Damn
by
right
the
they
end
should
or
have.
whatnot. You didn't either have to show that play or whatnot. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy. But congratulations to Saquon on that.
Hold up though, because not you know now before we get out of here, I want to talk about that, man. And this is a departure. Jacksonville Jaguars. We are the laughing stock when it comes to highlight reels. We own everybody fucking highlight reel. Now we are the center of attention on a fucking Madden cover, dog. Ain't that some shit, bro? Dog, we got to live. This is forever, forever, guys. As a Jaguar fan, I'm hurt. I saw that today. I ain't want to believe it. I didn't want to believe it, dog. I said I know they ain't finna put that on Madden cover, or they finna put Jacksonville in a dog. I don't know if I'm wrong for feeling like this, Greg.
Man, it's crazy, man. I wish they'd have came up with a different cover, man.
Yeah, dog, man, that shit hurt, bro. But on that note, man, we've been up here about an hour, man. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight, man. It's your boy Joe,
It's your boy Greg.
and we out, man. Peace.